Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Jackie Ron. Today we'll be talking about the upcoming 1964 presidential election between Democratic candidate Lyndon B. Johnson and Republican candidate Barry Goldwater. We'll get more insight on their policies on America's economic issues, the war in Vietnam, and more topics that you might find significant to the election, which is less than 2 months away. Barry Goldwater, a 55-year-old senator known for having a strong conservative demeanor, is clearly trying to win this in a very Republican manner. With his popular book, The Conscience of a Conservative, Goldwater was a favorite over New York Governor Nelson Rockefeller in the Republican election. On the other hand, we have Lyndon B. Johnson, a former majority leader in Senate and former vice president. As you may already know, he took place after Mr. Kennedy's presidency due to the tragic assassination just less than a year ago. Johnson provided the controversial Civil Rights Act, which gave more equal rights to African Americans, improvements in education, and an attempt to end war and poverty. With these two candidates having two different complete ideologies and completely opposing one another, it will be interesting to see which candidate is able to win America over and become your 36th president. Coming up, we have our political commentator, Senator William Mall.
Thank you.
And Senator Marcus Miller. So, Senator William, what are some of your policies on the Vietnam War that has taken place?
Well, we have seen many countries turn to communism, and we have invested a little bit into the Vietnam War, but we must strengthen our involvement because communism is spreading and it will be the death of capitalism. We can't just stand by and watch our capitalistic system die.
With the assassination of President Kennedy, what do you think the plans on resuming his policy will be? Do you think they'll continue with his same policy, or do you think Lyndon B. Johnson will differ?
I think Lyndon B. Johnson will continue what Kennedy did. He will further the involvement of American troops into Vietnam.
Do you think any more American soldiers will be hurt, or do you think Lyndon B. Johnson will take them out?
I think that it's a small price to pay to protect the system that we have built.
What do you think Lyndon B. Johnson's views on communism is?
I think he would agree with me that they are slowly spreading and would soon take over capitalism.
Okay, so Senator Miller, what are your views on the Vietnam War?
Well, I think the Vietnam War was a necessary action to take for America because we need to stop the spread of communism.
How necessary is it to try and defeat communism?
To defeat communism is in our top priorities right now because we can't let it spread and go to other countries and even our country.
So America should be afraid of it?
Yes, we should be afraid of it, but that doesn't mean we can't fight it.
More on the Medicare aid that is planned to give health insurance to the elderly?
Yes. What we plan to do is supplement part of what the elderly pay for health insurance. We'll pay for part of their doctor visits, their prescription drugs, and all that kind of stuff. For being such a upstanding member of society and contributing to our economy, we plan to help them with their healthcare costs when they can't work.
So how do you think this would help America in the future?
Well, I think this, like many elderly, they don't work, and so they need some help for the high cost of healthcare.
So Senator Miller, what is your intake on the Medicare system?
Well, I think the healthcare system is broken in America right now, but the government is too unequipped to take on the problem all the way right now. So the result would be an inefficient economy. So I think we need to come at it with little by little, like promoting competition between the healthcare insurance and pharmaceutical companies, and reforming the Medicare payment system. And this will eventually result in a better economy for America.
How do you think America's economy in 50 years will be affected by this?
If we take little steps in 50 years, the economy will see big improvements.
With the Economic Opportunity Act of 1964 just recently being passed in March, how do you think that would contribute with the economy?
With the Economic Opportunity Act, we are trying to give many people in poverty jobs. If people have jobs, it will greatly help mobilize the economy. In the long run, this will help us generate revenue.
So you're speaking of jobs. Programs like the Job Corridor inside the law are giving men and women of our era a chance to learn basic training, fundamentals, but what are the fallout of this? Do you think they'll lose more money funding this program?
I don't think we will lose more money because we are training young men and women to basic fundamental skills to help them get jobs, and later they will pay their taxes, and the government will get the investment back. We are investing in the people, the American people, like FDR did.
Continuation with the war on poverty. The Economic Act of 1964 is supposed to eliminate poverty, create educational opportunities, and create the safety net for the poor and unemployed. Do you see this actually becoming successful?
Well, the aim of the Economic Opportunity Act isn't to actually eliminate poverty, but to eradicate the principal cause of it by attacking the roots and consequences of poverty by creating job opportunities, increasing productivity, and enhancing the quality of life.
It's pretty obvious that the war on poverty is supposed to replicate, if not duplicate, FDR's New Deal that took place in 1935. How do you think this legislation will differ, and how do you think this will impact our country?
Well, FDR's New Deal was created amidst a devastating financial crisis, with the goal of keeping the economy alive. Our war on poverty will bring us towards a new generation of prosperity. We will all benefit from it, and everyone will live a better life.
As said before, the war on poverty being relatively similar to Roosevelt's New Deal, how do you think this will work in comparison?
Well, the war on poverty focuses on expanding the government role in education and healthcare as poverty reduction strategies like those in the New Deal. This will give the same, if not more, job opportunities than the New Deal.
The New Deal did not end the Depression, although it did give people opportunities. How do you feel the war on poverty legislation will do the same?
Well, if the war on poverty uses the strategies in place, then it will create much more job opportunities than the New Deal did before.
I don't want to speak personally on the Vietnamese people, but I will say this. We may know when a war will start, but we may never know or how it will end until it ends.